Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Mimi's Little City Homestead. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Dana. Today we're going to make blackberry jelly. I have a pan full of blackberries here, if you could see those. Now I don't have, so I went to the blackberry patch at Meijer. I don't have a blackberry patch here, but they ran them 75 cents a pint, and I like blackberry jelly. I don't like store-bought jelly, and I don't normally use pectin in my jams, but I'm going to use Pomona pectin, which is calcium water and pectin powder. Looks like this when you order it. And it has the instructions in there. There's 2 packets. You mix your water with your calcium, and then you have your dry pectin that you mix with your sugar. And this will make the jelly, but it also makes it so that I can go from 0 sugar up to 2 or 3 cups of sugar, so I can have it lower. And I like the taste of the fruit in my jams and jellies with a lot less sugar than they normally call for 6 or 7 cups sometimes. I'm gonna do this with 2 cups. Hopefully, I'll get enough juice. If I don't get the 4 cups of juice that I need, I'll add a little bit of water to it. But I'm going to put this pan of blueberries with just the 1/4 cup of lemon juice that it calls for on the stove and heat it up and get those berries to start releasing the juice. So that's what we're going to do first. And then we're going to run them through our food mill, because I don't like anything to do with those blackberry seeds. They are way too big. I don't even like raspberry seeds. Like I said before, if you've been here before and you've heard anything that I've said about how I like my jams, I don't like the seeds. So we're gonna take this out and make it a jelly and just use the juice from these. And that's an easy thing to do with my food mill. So the first thing we need for this recipe is I have 6 pints of raspberries in here. And I'm gonna add in my 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Then I'm going to take it over to the stove and heat it up, and then I'll bring you back when it starts letting some of that juice go. So at this point, I'm boiling just barely, and I'm only going to cook these 5 to 10 minutes to get them to soften up, because I have a food mill. You're going to strain them. If you're going to strain them, you're going to cook them 5 to 10 minutes and get the juice, get them warmed up, and get the juice starting to release from the berries. You'll notice they change into a really pretty color. But you're going to strain them, so you're going to put them in a cheesecloth, probably in a regular wire strainer or plastic strainer, and set that in a bowl. Let that drain. Pour your berries into, over the cheesecloth in the strainer and let them drain. Let the juice out, let it cool down, and then pick up your cheesecloth and twist it and squeeze it by twisting it, and get the rest of the juice out and just end up with seeds and pulp in your cheesecloth. So that's one thing you're going to want to get ready if you don't, or a jelly bag if you have one of those. You could put it, if you bought a jelly bag, you can use that also. But it's probably, to me, it's easiest to run it through a food mill if you have one. And I have one that I found online that's only $34. If that's something you're interested in, leave a comment and I'll look that back up and get you the link to it. The one I have runs around $63, then they go up from there all the way up to $375 with the motor on. Mine's lasted me 25 years so far, and it's worth every penny. If you have to strain it through a cheesecloth, that's okay too, just to get those big seeds out of there and end up with just juice for our jelly. Be sure to strain your fruit, let it cool off really well before you squeeze out your cheesecloth. And I'm about done with my 10 minutes. So I'm going to shut off my burner and let this fruit cool down a bit before I put it through my food mill. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is run our berries and juice through the food mill. It's cooled down enough now. It's going to splash a little bit. I've got my apron on. Make sure you wear old clothes doing blueberries or blackberries, because they're going to stain if you don't. But we're going to run this through now. And you're going to see the juice running out through. This is the berry screen. It's going to come down through here, the juice, and the rest is going to go out here in the bowl, the seeds and the pulp. I usually run those through twice. Most of the time with berries, you can get more juice out of them the second time around. So Don't be afraid to run it through again. It absolutely doesn't hurt anything. So we're pouring all of our berries up in here into the hopper. And I want to make sure I get all that fruit out of my pan because I don't want any of those blackberry seeds. Okay, so since we're going to put our juice back in our pan and add our sugar and pectin and things, I wanted to make sure that all those seeds were out and got them all out of there. So now all I have to do is turn this, and I'm going to do it slowly because if I don't, sure enough, that juice will come popping out toward me. I have a little bit of a cover here, but it'll come straight out. Even when you're trying to be careful, that will happen. But the slower you go with these, because there is a lot of juice already in there, the better. But you'll soon see the seeds and the pulp. Now see, there's juice already starting to come out. So I know I'm gonna run it through a second time because I don't wanna miss a teaspoon of this stuff. It takes 4 cups for me to be able to make the jelly, and I wanna make sure I get all of it. And for some reason, this happened with me with my blueberry syrup. This isn't suctioning to the counter like it normally does. I gotta take a look at it and see why. So I gotta hold on to this while I'm turning it, which is no big deal because it's not hard to crank. But just the tiniest bit of pulp is coming out of there. Very tiny bit, you know, like blackberries have. No seeds. Most of it's going to go right into that bowl. Hopefully we'll end up with close to 4 cups like we need. Now you'll notice there is a little bit of pulp. If you were to put it through cheesecloth, you wouldn't get that. You would just get 100% juice, and it will be more clear than what mine's gonna be, but that's okay. I don't mind that in there at all. So we got some more to push down in there. Now it's starting to come out the end there. That's all your seeds and all your stuff. I'm gonna just keep turning it because the auger in there still has fruit in it. It takes a minute for it to get to the end. Dumping it back in. I think that's about as much as I'm going to get out of it. And we're going to measure this up here now. See if we get 4 cups. This is a 4-cup measure. We'll pour it in. If I don't have 4 cups, I'll add enough water to make it 4 cups. And what did we end up with? I know it's not 4. We ended up with about 3.5. So I'm going to take this over to the sink and add some cold water to it till I get it up to the 4 cups that's needed. So there's our 4 cups of juice. Back in the pan. Boy, is that pretty. I don't know if you can, you probably can't see it over there. If you can see that color, it's beautiful. The juice is beautiful. It's gonna make some pretty stuff here, pretty tasty stuff. So we got our 4 cups in, and with the pectin, I guess I should. With Pomona's pectin, the reason you don't have to use, and I'm not affiliated or sponsored by them, I just really love it because I like a lot less sugar than what traditional jam has in it. And what you do is with your liquid here, you're going to use this 2-part that comes with a little powder that you mix with water, and that's your calcium water, and this is what binds with the threads in the gel, and you don't need as much sugar like traditional pectin that uses the sugar to bind with the strands of the fruit. But I've had this in my fridge. It lasts forever. You don't have to throw it away ever because it will last and last, and it only takes teaspoons at a time when you're making jams and jellies. So I wanted you to see in the bottom, it settles a little bit. You want to shake it up and make sure it's all mixed really well because that's what's going to do your setting for you. So first we're going to put in 4 teaspoons of our water into our liquid for the amount that we have measured. It calls for 4 teaspoons. Like I said, that's right there. In the package, it comes with directions on how to make all your jellies and jams, even with bought, fruit juice. So there's 4, and that's all we need the pectin water for. And you can see, still got plenty for another batch. So we'll set that aside, go back in the fridge. And the other thing we're going to do before we go to the stove is add 4 teaspoons of the powdered pectin to the sugar. 2 cups of sugar here is all I'm going to use. We're going to blend that in with the sugar like you would your pectin to keep it from being lumpy and having problems. We don't want that. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm just going to kind of, I should have put it in a bowl, I suppose, but I put it in a measuring cup. So Just gonna try to get that pectin mixed in there a little bit as good as I can with a whisk. It's working pretty good. Now we're gonna take this over to the stove and bring it up to a boil, and that's when we're gonna add our sugar and pectin mixture. So we'll do that now. Okay, so the juice is in there. We're gonna bring it up to a boil. The juice and the juice and the calcium water. We're just gonna stir it up a little bit, bring it to a boil. I'm using the 8-ounce jelly jars, and over here I've got them in my steam canner heating because we're putting hot jam into hot jars and it's gonna go into a hot canner, but not boiling. I want my canner water around 180 degrees before I add my jars. I want to try to match everything up as close as I can to temperature so there's no thermal shock going on. We don't lose any jars because of siphoning or having jars break, and that's what that'll do if you change the temperature of the jar and its surrounding area to different temperatures. If you subject it to a colder temperature real quickly, it's going to break. Even though this is just a small batch jam, I want to have it in a pan with really tall sides because it will foam up when it's cooking, and I don't want that splashing on anything. So make sure you got it like a Dutch oven or something with real tall sides on it. Make your small batch jams and jellies. Don't double the recipes. They suggest you do not do that. I don't know exactly how, but it can upset. Even if you think you're doubling it exactly, it can still upset the setting of it. So make one batch at a time. So now we got a boil going on. I'm going to take this out for just a minute because I'm going to whisk after I add my sugar, which is going to be right now. We're going to set our timer for, it says cook the jelly to a boil that you can't stir down, and then let it go for 1 to 2 minutes. So I'm going to give it about a minute to get up to a full boil again like it was, and then a minute for it to cook after that. Okay, there's our timer. So we'll go ahead and turn off our heat and set it over on the island. I'm going to get my hot jars out of my canner and we're going to can this up. I'm using the half-pint jars, or jelly jars as they're known, to can up my jelly. And I'm just a canning away with my camera backwards. So I have all my jars filled, but I did save this one to show you. This is not enough jelly in the jar because we need a 1/4 inch head space, and we'd have that much extra air in there that you would have to try to drive out. And you have to go by the trusted recipes. In order to make jelly, they want a 1/4 inch head space. That's the distance between your food and the underside of your lid or the rim of the jar. And that air in the 10-minute canning time will be pushed out of this jar, and that's going to seal it. This is far too much. So this is going in the refrigerator, which is no heartache because that's going in the fridge. I'm going to have that on toast tomorrow. And I'm not going to can it. Don't need to. So I'm going to put them in my canner. And I got 4 jars in my canner. I'm going to put this on. There's 1, 2, 3. I'm less than 1,000 feet in elevation, so mine is zone 3. If you don't know your elevation, you want to Google it for your location. It'll tell you what your elevation is. And then when you look up recipes, you might be a 15-pound. If you're doing a pressure canning, you might be a 15-pound area. I'm a 10 to 11-pound area. Somewhere there's 5-pound area. So you need to know all that. And also for your steam canner, same reason, because it'll give the elevation and it'll say you're zone 1, then the next elevation you're zone 2. So pay attention to that. We don't start our timer for 10 minutes until it gets into my area, which is clear over here. When the red needle gets there, I can set my timer for 10 minutes. It's just like a water bath. These are interchangeable. You can use this just the same as a water bath to can any like high acid tomato products and pickles and relish and jellies and jams and syrups and fruits and things like that. This only takes 2.5 quarts of water, where a hot water bath canner can take 16 quarts by the time you cover your jars. They're that big. This takes a lot less time to heat up to what I need it to be at, so it's faster, saves energy, saves me hauling a big canner over to the sink to dump it. So in 10 minutes, once I get into this area, I will set my timer for 10 minutes, and then when my timer goes off, I'm going to shut this off and let this sit on the burner without lifting the lid for 5 to 10 minutes to let the steam in there calm down, let the jars get a little more acclimated to the cooler temperature before I pull them out and put them on my counter in a really cool temperature. I'm going to keep an eye on this, set my timer, and bring it back when it's all ready to pull out of the canner. Okay, so they've cooled down enough. I can take them out of the canner. They need to sit out on a towel overnight, 12 to 24 hours, usually 12. I love that ping. You guys, I have to show you this because I put this one in the fridge and it's not even cool yet. I mean, I can feel a little warmth there, but you gotta look at this. I gotta put you down here further. So look at this gel. Like I said, it's not even cooled down yet, but look at this. It's perfect. So this is gonna be some good jam. And I tasted it, which I just did again. And it tastes so good. If you're used to biting into a jelly or jam that has like a lot of sugar in it that just makes your teeth hurt, you will love this because the only thing you taste when you first bite it is fruit, and then a little bit of sweetness comes in there. For the 4 cups of juice and 2 cups of sugar, that Pomona Pectin, I'm telling you, I love that stuff. This low sugar is so good. It's just unbelievably good. You need to make some and try it. You'll be so impressed. Any flavor that you like. So that's it for today. So here it is. It's beautiful. You're gonna really like this. It's very, very good, and I suggest try a small batch of it. You won't be sorry. So thanks for coming and hanging out with me today and canning another fruit. I'm gonna work on peach butter next, and that I can't wait for. I don't like to eat a fresh peach because I don't like the texture that much, but I love the taste of peach. So when I make this into a spiced peach butter, I'll show you what that looks like. And if you have any suggestions for anything else, let me know. We'll try making some other things. I know that a lot of fruit's coming up. I also want to make some pear jelly or pear jam with some extra added things to it. So I think that'll be fun. My mom and dad have pear trees. I want to thank you for coming along with me again. I appreciate it. If you don't mind, please like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me get that out there to more people, and I really enjoy doing this. So the more people, the better. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.